I just found out my girlfriend is cheating on me with my brother. July 19th, 2025. Throwaways since my friends know my Reddit. But I don't really know who else to turn to. I, 26M, just found out my girlfriend, 25F, has been cheating on me with my brother, 29M. I've been with her for about 6 years, and we have a 4-year-old son together. Am now questioning paternity. Excuse me, as I'm on mobile crying and drinking a fireball in my bathroom. It all came out at our son's 4th birthday party a few days ago. It was at my mom's house, and everything seemed normal. I was playing with my son and wanted to take a few photos, so I went inside to grab my phone, and I heard my girlfriend giggling down the hall behind a closed door. I realized I haven't seen her in maybe 20 to 30 minutes, so I was wondering if she was with someone or just on the phone. I went back to the party to grab a slice of cake to surprise her. When I was near the door, I kept hearing that playful stop girls usually do when they are flirting, and I was really confused, but I still opened the door, and I see she's cuddled up on top of my brother. He was in his boxers, and her makeup looked smudged, and her shirt was on the floor. I couldn't even say anything. I just stood there like an idiot. They both immediately noticed me, and my girlfriend jumped and immediately started explaining herself, but I was so angry I can't even remember what she was saying. I told my uncle I have a work emergency, and I had to leave. My mom started calling me, freaking out because she knows this is my week off, and I rarely ever have to deal with work after hours. I didn't tell her what happened yet. I haven't told anyone because honestly my wife is my only friend. She never liked when I hung out with my boys or my childhood friends because I was taking too much attention off her and our son. The part that's now messing with me the most is our son. I know this might be a huge reach, and I might just be angry, but ever since my son was born, there's been a running joke among my family that my son looks like my brother. I kind of saw it but always dismissed it because I trusted my wife and I knew she wouldn't do anything like that to me. My brother has always been the one to start the joke, and my girlfriend would always laugh. A lot of things that they used to do is now becoming more clear, like the fact that once or twice a week they often go out together, and my wife would always come back super happy and giggly. She would tell me how her day was, but when I would try to initiate intimacy later in the day, she would always say she's too exhausted. She has an insane sex drive. I am spiraling, and I have no one in my life to turn to. My phone has been absolutely blowing up with messages from both my girlfriend, her trash friends, and my brother, but I can't even bring myself to read them. I am spiraling, and I don't know what to do anymore. I feel like the life I have dreamt of as a kid is completely ruined, and I feel too old to restart. My life is over. Update 1. It's 12:28 and Eve read all comments and working on responding. Thank you so much for the support and the 2 awesome guys who DM'd me about their experiences. Before the update, I want to answer a few questions. Wife or girlfriend? She was my girlfriend. When she gave birth to our son, I gave her a temporary ring and promised her I would marry her when I settle my college debt. I haven't called her my girlfriend in years. I introduced her as my future wife. I'm sorry for adding that in the post and causing confusion. I was so broken typing it and kept thinking how she was supposed to be my wife in less than a year. Why didn't you confront them and tell everyone? My body completely froze and I shut down. It's easier said than done. Isn't it weird they joke about it? Wouldn't they want to keep it a secret? I don't know how to answer this. When my family or my brother would joke about it, I'd always get uncomfortable and shut it off. She didn't let you have friends? It's a little more complicated than that. She would often. Now I'm aware it's gaslighting, but I'm still in denial, that I seem like I prioritize my friends over her and our son. Due to that fact, after work I would quickly come home, shower, play with our son a little before bedtime, and run back out to a bar or event with my friends. I don't think I've actually hung out with any of my friends in a few months. All I do is talk to online friends occasionally. My friends all drifted away a little bit when I kept using the wife, girlfriend, doesn't want me outside excuse. She was gone for so long and no one noticed? And how are they so comfortable to be almost completely naked? When my girlfriend left during my son opening gifts, she said she was having bad cramps, so she was going to lay down for a bit. I don't have an excuse for my brother, because I don't know. And as for the naked part, I wish I knew. For the actual update, I have replied to my girlfriend. I told her we can talk in the morning, and she immediately started spam calling me, but I ignored all of them and kept it short with her. As for my brother, I simply just told him if he died, nothing in my life would change. My brother and I have never been particularly close, but he was still considered my best friend. He helped us out when my girlfriend was going through PP and gave me the bro talk when she was diagnosed with many mental disorders. I feel absolutely disgusted that I let him get that close to us. And I feel even more stupid for not noticing the most blatantly obvious red flags. I am unable to afford a lawyer. Most of my savings would be wiped. I have never had to deal with legal stuff, so all I've been doing is searching cheap lawyers on Google. A part of me still wants her to be my official wife. And I've been looking at pictures of our son and trying to convince myself that he looks like me, but it's getting so much harder. I am so broken, and I have nothing else. If he's not my son, I don't know what I'll do with myself. I plan on telling my mother and father first before she gets the chance to spin the story, and hopefully I can come back in a few days or weeks with an update, as I read paternity tests take a long time. Thank you to everyone. Update 2. I don't think anyone will see this, so I made a new post, but long story short, she's not sure my son is mine, and I'm done. Relevant comments. Deleted. Yeah, the red flag in there was she didn't let you have friends. And she has been using that weakness she created against you. Even her own kid, against you. Double child support? Extra for her vanity? Could be. Opie, I never really viewed it as a red flag because I was spending a lot of time with my friends for a while. I have a lot of online friends from gaming, but even then, they are just online. I can't actually have fun with them if that makes sense. Gleaming the cubicle. Get a lawyer. Get a paternity test, Opie. I don't know how I could possibly get a lawyer. I'm an average guy making an average wage. I think I'd blow my entire savings plus more affording lawyers and court fees based on what I see. Test 27795. You need a lawyer and a paternity test. You will also need therapy. You need to take care of yourself. I know it seems impossible now, but you will survive this for a better day. Just keep moving. You can explain it to HR or a manager at work. You may need some time off. Please be kind to yourself. No one deserves this type of betrayal. The therapy will help you trust yourself again one day. Opie, thank you a lot. My boss knows a tiny bit of what's going on and has given me a week off. As for therapy, I can't afford it. I've honestly been drowning in debt. I've been dealing with still paying off hospital bills, my wife's emergency C-section, the new car she convinced me to finance, and a lot of other things. Therapy would just add on to that. But I'm going to try and see if my friends are still willing to talk to me even though I have been icing them out for a few months. I appreciate the advice. I have been raising my brother's son for 4 years. July 20, 2025, one day later, I made a post yesterday talking about how I caught my ex cheating on me with my brother. I now found out that she doesn't know if our son is mine or his, and I am fucking spiraling. I can't believe this is genuinely my life right now. Everything I've ever had fell apart in 2 hours. After I made the first post, I decided to call a meeting with my family and my ex. I told them I wanted to talk about something serious and had them all come over to my place. My mom, dad, brother, and ex all showed up. My son was with my cousin for the day. I sat everyone down and just told them straight up what I saw at the party. My brother immediately jumped in saying it was a misunderstanding. She was feeling ugly and lonely. It was nothing, etc. He was talking so fast it was obvious he was lying. My mother then started crying, and my father didn't say anything. I just sat there and waited for my ex to say something. I rehearsed so many ways of how this conversation could probably go and listened to a lot of advice in my other post, but all I got out was, "Is son's name mine?" All she could fucking say was, "I don't know," and started crying. My heart dropped. I asked how long it's been going on, and she said it started around the time we were trying for a baby. So basically, since the beginning. I have basically been raising my nephew for 4 years. I can't get into much detail at this point, because I barely remember what happened. All I remember is both me and my brother on the floor, and we are both bloody. I started screaming for all of them to get out, as my ex started crying, saying, "She's sure our son is ours." But I have zero reason to believe it's mine, and I'm done. I have spent my entire life dreaming on building a huge family. We were supposed to be trying for another baby in a few months, and my entire life is just falling apart in such a short amount of time. I don't even know what advice I could possibly get at this point. I've already made an appointment for a paternity test against her wishes, but I can't even think right now. My life is done and over with. Relevant comments. Cocoa Almonds Rock. Step 1. Get a paternity test. Step 2. Don't wait. Call a lawyer on Monday and start the divorce process. Step 3. Mute your STBX and trashy brother. Don't block them. You may need their messages. Block any family member who says you should forgive or be the bigger person. Step 4. Get your ducks in a row. Spend not another night in the same place where she is. Separate your finances. If you have a house whose name is on the deed, what about vehicles? Figure out where you will live. Listen to your lawyer. Step 5. Figure out what you're going to do if you are not the biological father. Hate to tell you, but you're legally responsible for financial support. Since you know who the father is, if it's not you, talk to your lawyer about whether you can sue your brother to oblivion. Heroism forever. First, your life isn't done and over with, as hard as it is to see in this moment. You aren't too old, either. You're still very young, the beginning of adulthood still. With that said, reach out to local lawyers like others suggested. No contact, but don't block family and her. Get tests to verify if it's your child or not. You don't know anything for sure about the child. If it is yours, he's yours still, and you will regret not being there if you try cutting him out too. No drugs, no drinks. Don't let the courts use anything against you in your upcoming case and divorce. And again, I cannot reiterate enough. Your life is not over. You slammed into the rock bottom hard, but life isn't over. You will rebound, and your future self and future family, and potentially your current child, will be thankful you didn't give up. Many have rebounded much later in life than you. You can recover and have a future too. I didn't think I'd ever come back to do an update, but I feel like I owe it to everyone. This is just a continuation of events. Everything is on my page. It's been a month and a half since I found out the truth, and I honestly didn't think things could get any worse, but they did. The DNA test came back and my son isn't mine. I felt like my whole chest collapsed when I read it. I sat in my car holding that paper until the sun went down, and I couldn't even drive home. I've been raising my brother's kid this whole time. I felt a mixture of relief because a part of me accepted it might be his, but my heart is absolutely shattered. The fallout was a mess. There was yelling, crying, everyone talking at the same time. My ex was on her knees begging me not to leave her, saying she'd do anything. My brother was red in the face screaming that the kid was his, and I ruined his life. My mom was crying and telling me I was tearing the family apart. I just stood there shaking, my hands in my hair, trying to breathe while they all closed in on me. I've never felt so small in my own life. It was like the whole world turned on me in one night. I told my ex that we are over, and I didn't care what she did with the kid. I feel guilty about this because I feel already so emotionally detached from him. After that, everything just got worse. My brother showed up drunk at my buddy's house a few days later, pounding on the door and screaming that I stole his family. He was yelling that the kid was his, and he deserved to be with his real dad. I told him to leave, and he tried to fight me right there in the yard until the cops came and dragged him off. I've never seen someone so pathetic in my life. My ex hasn't stopped trying to get me back. She's been showing up crying, saying she can't live without me, begging me to forgive her. Last week she called me at 2 a.m. saying she was going to kill herself if I didn't come over. I didn't go. I can't anymore. I don't even know if it was real or just another way to guilt trip me. I got a few messages from her friends saying I'm a piece of shit for abandoning a child and leaving my ex to suffer alone. I don't even understand why I'm the one receiving all the backlash. My father is the only one who refuses to speak on the situation. The part that hurts most is my mom. She told me if I don't take my ex back and fix the family, she doesn't want anything to do with me. My own mother chose my cheating ex and my brother over me. She said I was abandoning my son. I had to remind her he isn't mine, and she hung up on me. I haven't heard from her since. I feel like I lost everyone. My brother, my mom, my ex, my son. I've been drinking too much just to fall asleep, and every morning I wake up feeling worse. I don't even recognize my life anymore. Update 9 months later. Hey guys, it's been about 240 days since my last post, and a lot of people asked for an update back then. I'm not sure if anyone will see this or care, but I'm sharing for anyone who's interested. The paternity test eventually came back and confirmed what I was already bracing myself for. He wasn't my son. That was probably the hardest sentence I've ever read in my life. For a long time, I didn't even know what to do with that information. I had spent 4 years raising him, building my entire identity around being his dad, and then suddenly that reality just stopped existing. I wish I could be cool and say I crashed out and tore everyone's life apart, but sadly, this is real life. I didn't do anything. I couldn't do anything but cry. I have been getting extreme hate for this decision, despite raising him for 4 years, but I am not interested in staying in his life and have not seen him in 7 months. It's been hard. It's disgusting and selfish of me to abandon a little child like that, but every time I looked at him, all I saw was my brother's face. It got to the point where I was having disgusting thoughts of hurting the kids, so I eventually had to get myself voluntarily admitted for 72 hours due to how scary those thoughts were, which led me to not seeing him again. My brother disappeared and refused to step up. He won't claim the kid, won't help, nothing. Last I heard, he basically denies responsibility whenever it comes up. That alone told me a lot about the kind of person he is, and I don't have a brother anymore as far as I'm concerned. There has been absolutely zero communication between us. My parents chose to keep trying to fix the family and push forgiveness instead of holding anyone accountable. They kept inviting me to dinners with him, telling me blood is blood, and saying I should move on for the sake of peace. Eventually, I realized they cared more about pretending things were normal than what actually happened to me. I cut them off completely. Haven't spoken to them in months, and honestly my life has been quieter because of it. Not to demonize religion, but both of my parents are hardcore Christians and often try to upkeep looks for their church. They have told them a watered-down version of events, but I truly cannot care enough to get the real story out to them. As for my ex, she's basically couch surfing now. Friends' places, relatives, wherever she can stay temporarily. I don't really keep tabs on her, but that's what I hear through mutual people. I don't hate her the way I did in the beginning anymore. Mostly, I just feel nothing. After the paternity test, I completely ghosted her. She came with her parents to pack all of her stuff together while I, admittedly an asshole move, was on the couch watching To Catch a Cheated. Jubal stories are BS, but funny LOL, on full volume. Didn't look or talk to her once. I have last heard she is constantly jumping relationships, in and out of hospitals, and keeps fighting for my brother to come back. What kind of hurts about that is, after the paternity test, everyone seemed more gravitated towards my brother stepping up instead of seeing if I was okay. My ex only bombarded me with hateful messages before I blocked her. No apologizes, lack of sympathy, just nothing. I do not know where she is now. My life now is simple. I wish I could say my life bloomed. I found love, found a great job. But sadly, I'm still at the same boring job I had when I wrote the original post. The only difference is I got promoted to a position that's, I guess, okay. Nothing glamorous, but it pays a bit more and keeps me busy. Routine ended up being one of the only things that helped me stabilize. Mentally, I'm still repairing myself. The first few months were brutal. Therapy helped a lot. So did time, even though everyone hates hearing that. I still think about the kids sometimes, and that part will probably always hurt, but the constant spiral I was in back then isn't my daily reality anymore. This will likely be the last ever update, but thank you Reddit for being there for me. Relevant comments. Puzzleheaded Tap 4484. I feel for you OP, but I really feel bad for that kid. He's an innocent party in all this. A crappy mom who's couch surfacing with a child. A biological dad who never stepped up. A dad he knew all his life that ghosted him due to paternity, but I get it and do understand why. And his life imploded. Hopefully the grandparents have given him a stable life. I'm glad you're in therapy, and I hope it helps you move on from this terrible chapter in your life. Hopefully with time you are able to start living your life again and find happiness again. Congrats on the promotion. Just Me 2006. Exactly. That little boy has found himself on a very, statistically speaking, predictable path to future anger problems, juvenile hall to God knows what. All that trauma before age 5 is not great.